Hello and welcome to another Junk Journal podcast. This is our second episode. If you've missed the first one, please go check out that link below. Let us give you a very brief introduction of who we are, just in case you missed the first one and you're here for the very first time. So my name is Barbara. I'm your host. I'm in Vienna, Austria, and I have had a YouTube channel mostly about junk journaling for about 3 years now. Joie, do you want to give a brief introduction?
Yes, thanks very much. And it's lovely to be here. So I've had a YouTube channel for about 3 years. My name's Joie Defee. And basically, I absolutely love playing with paper. So I share that on my YouTube channel with relatively calm and methodical videos to help others do it too. I use really basic supplies, nothing clever. We just have fun.
Awesome. Luise, hi.
Hi. Yeah, my name is Luise. I'm originally from Germany, but now I'm in Austria, but on the other end of Austria than Barbara is. And I have my YouTube channel since I think 2017 when I started junk journaling. And I'm trying to do some junk journal art on my channel. So that means, this connection between junk journaling and art journaling.
Very good. We are still working on the questions that you had sent me, you as in the viewer, have sent both myself and Joie. This is already a while back. We asked you on some of our videos to send us what your most pressing junk journal questions are. We are still going through that list. We've also added 2 new questions from Luise from her group. So that's exciting as well. So Luise, why don't you kick it off with your questions?
Yeah, so the first question, especially from the German viewers of this podcast, was how did we met? So I haven't expected this question, but they want to know how we came into contact for this podcast and crafting in general.
That's actually a very good question that nobody has asked for. And actually, I would think it's interesting. So, well, maybe I can say how Luise and I met, and then maybe Joie can say how both of us met. So, Luise, the first contact between Luise and me didn't go so well. I contacted her, this is now a few years ago, when we still had, in Vienna, we had a monthly junk journal meetup. No, actually, it wasn't a junk journal meetup. It was like a journaling meetup, not just junk journaling. And I was co-hosting that together. I'm mixing German and English. Together with Petra from Instagram. And I somehow came across Luise's, I think, even webpage, not even YouTube channel first, webpage. And I was like, wow, there's another Austrian doing junk journals. I could not believe it. It was the first time ever I had come across someone actually doing exactly the same thing I was doing. And I was so in awe and so impressed about her website. I'm like, oh my God, she is such a pro. We need her at these meetings. It would be so fun. So I contacted her and she's like, nah, not happening. What? So maybe you want to say why?
That's not so easy to explain because at that point I was at the very beginning of this whole journey, and I totally haven't expected that I will get an email from someone who is doing the same like I'm doing. So of course I started my YouTube channel to exchange ideas and inspiration, to get in contact with people who are also crafting, because in my area there are no people. It's the same like you experienced, Barbara. And then I was so overwhelmed that I thought, who is this? Then I checked out your channel, saw the number of subscribers and thought, okay, no, that's that's totally confusing perhaps for the viewers, but it was at that point totally too much for me to get into this contact. And the second thing is that I can't drive my car such a long way because of some health issues. And I was new in Austria and I had a little bit of a fear to drive with the train such a long distance. And that were some things that came together.
I must say, I did not realize that there was such a huge distance between us, because you think, Austria is a small country. How far can it be? And actually, Luise and I tried to meet up this summer, I actually wanted to go visit her. And then I was checking out the connections, and I was like, oh my goodness, it takes 9 hours from her place to mine, like within Austria. That's like
It's huge.
That is amazing. I could be in New York and back by that time. I mean, that is crazy. So yeah, unfortunately that didn't happen. Yeah. But then Luise got in contact with me. Like, this is what, half a year ago, maybe? I don't know now, maybe.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then we chatted on Instagram, and yeah, from then on, I think now we're junk journal buddies.
I think our connection probably goes back a bit further, from maybe like 18 months prior to that, maybe. I think as our channels were evolving, Barbara, I think you and I were naturally just looking at each other's videos and commenting. And then I think I just reached out to you on Instagram and said, hi, how about a chat? Let's actually talk rather than just leaving comments on each other's videos. So we connected, and I think through that connection, we participated in your collaboration over the summer, Luise. So I think that was a natural grouping, and it just seems to, it's nice for when it becomes real people as opposed to that YouTube engagement, which is great, and we can talk to each other through comments. But I think it's also good when we show our faces and just show just show who we are as well, so that we can all relate to each other. So I really enjoy the fact that we're having a chat here today. That just feels like a natural thing to do with your cup of coffee, just have a chat.
Right. And I must say, I also really appreciate that sometimes when we chat, we can also discuss things that we cannot discuss with anyone else, because no one else is doing what we do, like having our YouTube channels and all that comes with that. I mean, who do you talk to? Nobody gets us, right? It's like, so it's really nice to be able to talk to someone and maybe toss ideas or get feedback when you feel stuck, or when you just, need some advice. That is so valuable, and I really cherish that. And it's nice to have the feeling that there is someone you can go to and not feel intimidated. It's really, really nice, and I really appreciate that connection that we have.
Yeah.
Luise, you have a second question, I believe.
Yep, I have a second question, and that was also from the German viewers. How did you, Barbara, come up with this podcast idea? So it's new, I think, that it's with showing our faces. I think there are some podcasts that you can hear, so listen to. These words, sorry. But this format with showing our faces, it's new. How do you decided that you want to show the face and not only talking like the others do? And what's behind this whole idea?
Well, maybe first of all, to explain how I got to the podcast idea at all. On one of my walks in my botanical garden, sometimes I just have my thoughts with me. Sometimes I listen to music, and sometimes, rarely, I listen to podcasts. And I was listening to an art podcast, actually. And this lady that was hosting it was saying that she is looking for artists that she could have on her podcast who do not have their main customer base on Instagram. So she was looking for creators that had less than 10,000 followers on Instagram, which I was at that point. And I thought, oh, that's totally me. My business is totally not Instagram. So I'm going to apply to see if I can come in her show. So I did that. I sent her a direct message, never got a reply. And I was so disappointed. I'm like, wow, she's given a shout out and she wants people to apply, and then you don't even get a response. I was really disappointed. But I was so happy about this experience, because then I thought, like, you know what? I'm going to have my own podcast. And I was like, okay, let's see. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to have us be seen on screen. So that was my motivation. But I was like, thank you so much for this experience, because otherwise I would have never come up with that. And so this is why we're here. And I'm so happy. I was, of course, super nervous and excited to do it. And can we do it? Can we make it work technically? All these things. Can I find people that want to do this with me? So I'm super happy that this is where we are. And I'm so thankful to that lady that never contacted me.
Yeah, but that's the right way, isn't it? I mean, we have to learn from those experiences. And I think it's not the right way to sit in the corner and cry, but think about some new things and new ideas. And that's junk journaling as well. Take something that another one would throw away. I mean, this idea obviously has been thrown away, and you have taken it and made something new and much better.
I don't know if it's better, but it's fun.
And speaking
better,
of
Barbara, of course it's better.
Speaking of inspiration, then maybe I can lead on with another question. So one of the questions that we didn't really address properly last time was what was behind setting up your YouTube channel. So what inspired you to start a YouTube channel? And maybe I could ask Luise that.
Yeah. I know how many people would watch this, but I would like to be honest, and I would like to say what my real reason in the very beginning was. So, of course, that has totally changed over the years. But in the very beginning, I wanted to see how many people would watch a really simple and totally raw video. So I just was curious how many people would find my video. That was the reason why I've uploaded my first video. And at that point, I was already in some Facebook groups about junk journaling. And I've asked the people there if they watched it and if they would like to subscribe to my channel, even if they don't know what will happen on my channel. I have said nothing about my future plans and that stuff. And I made a bet with my hubby. If I think 20 people would subscribe to my channel in the first week, then I will go on. And if not, I will close it. So that's the reality.
That's cute. I'm so happy 20 subscribed. Otherwise, we would.
And Barbara, what about you? What got you going on YouTube?
What got me going was I had just discovered junk journaling a couple of months earlier, and I was so excited about this whole junk journaling thing, and I had no one to share it with. So I thought, well, maybe I can just make a video. Maybe I can connect with people that way. And I've, in the meantime, taken down my first couple of videos because they were just so horrible and embarrassing.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. So, but that's why actually I got started. And I wanted to share that passion because, you know, when you're so passionate about something, you want to share it with someone. And that's what I did. And I never started out with the intention of this becoming a business or something I could make money from. Never, ever. Wow. Amazing what happened.
I'd probably say something quite similar. I think that obsession for paper. So I think we all share that. I personally am unbelievably curious about the medium of video and how we can bring our friends to our desk by getting close up and showing what we do in a creative way. I'm always exploring how to use video. So I kind of have that going hand in hand with that paper passion, although the paper comes first. The other confession I have is one of the reasons I did it was because I personally felt quite scared and intimidated by technology. And I felt that it was moving ahead of me and I was just becoming redundant and I couldn't use it. So I didn't even know what the words meant, like follower, subscriber, what's the difference? What's a platform? So I kind of made myself do it to tackle some of those fears. So those three go together for me, if that makes some sense. I don't know if you can relate to that. You're probably all au fait with technology and completely comfortable with it, but I absolutely wasn't. So
I wasn't either. I had no idea about filming, about YouTube, about anything. It's learning by going, and that's so much fun, I think.
and still learning, aren't we? We still learn all the time.
All the time, yeah.
And if we're talking about inspiration, then what else inspires you apart from other channels? I mean, we all watch other channels and we're mesmerized by the things that are created and it's fun to watch. But what do you take inspiration from? I'd love to hear where you're getting that energy from. So, Barbara, where's that coming from for you?
I find mine comes mostly when I walk, especially when I walk in parks, in nature, on my own and not listening to anything. That's when my thoughts just kind of spiral and go wild. So nature is basically my biggest inspiration, and just moving out in the open rather than just being at home, you know, in my four walls, in my small apartment. that is the least creative place for me, just being out.
Yeah. Luise, what about you? Where are you taking all that inspiration from and getting that energy?
That's totally crazy, because for me, it's totally the other way around than Barbara just said. So when I'm outside, so here I'm at a really wonderful lake and I can go for a walk when I want it. It's only 2 minutes away from me. But all these things around drive me crazy. When I see trees and water and everything, some animals, it drives me crazy. I can't explain that, but I can get inspiration when I'm with myself and in this time between being awake and go to sleep. There's something in my head it's not a dream, but it's something where my thoughts are really relaxed. And then this machine there goes around. Mm-hmm. And I also get really much inspiration when I talk with other people. So even if they don't have anything to do with what I'm doing, but sometimes they can only say one word and there's an idea, so that I have to jump and go to my craft room and do it. So that's really, really crazy. And I think it's also difficult to explain what's going on in your head. So I don't know, how is this for you, Chloe?
I can relate to that. So mine is not that external environment so much as Barbara, but I've created, and you see a bit of it on my videos, I've created my magical room. So my craft room, my studio where I film, where I make things. I go in and I have my desk with my twinkly lights, and it's my room, and it's it's really calm and peaceful. And I sit at my desk and I'll just look at a pattern or a book page or something. And then I think, what can I do with that? And I just bounce off the sort of ideas that way, as opposed to going out and having the bigger ideas like you did on your walk, Barbara. I put myself in a space that makes me feel really excited to be in. And then it's, when I'm in that zone, I just walk. As soon as I walk through the door now, as I'm going to my desk, I'm always filled with a sense of excitement, and there's so much to play with and so much to do. And coming up with ideas on my channel, I literally just pick something up and go, I'll play with this. What shall I do? I mostly do it that way. It's interesting how we're all different. We all think and come up with our ideas in a different way.
Yeah.
And would it make a difference, Joey, if your craft room is tidy and organized, or can you also get this inspiration if you have this chaotic scene around you?
That is a fantastic question. I actually have a room of two halves. So I'll never have a perfectly tidy room, because at the end of the day, I don't want to spend that much time doing the tidying. I'd rather sit at my desk and play. So I tidy and I clean every week. And I have enough space that is tidy that I can do things, because I do find if it's disorganized completely, it impinges on your ability to actually do. But there's a natural amount of, I won't say chaos now because I've done some work on it, but there's a natural amount of activity that's allowed to happen, because that is the way that I create. And I love grabbing things and just putting something on and having a play. And it does create mess. So there'll always be some mess. But it's a constant thing to try to also declutter and get on top of it. So it's kind of a bit of a room of two halves. But my desk area where I do things, I work really hard to have that genuinely peaceful, calm zone, because I really like that sense of peace.
Barbara?
Well, my situation is different. Since I don't have a craft room, I also don't have a craft desk, meaning I work on my living room desk, which is our dining table. So I don't have the luxury of leaving things out for weeks or even a week. When my hubby is not here, yes, it does happen. But even then, I clean up between projects. Obviously, when you're working on a project that takes longer, I'm not going to clean up in between. There's no point. But once a project is done, I so look forward to getting everything organized again and getting a clean tabletop, because kind of like you said, Joe, it helps me to kind of just, I don't know what the word is, just to feel at peace and to have a clear mind to start again a new project. If I have everything around me in piles, it just totally overwhelms me and it hinders me from getting new ideas. It just totally stops me. So I do kind of need more the clean environment and empty space. You, Luise?
I think I need something that's in between. So I love if my craft room is really tidy and my desk is empty. and I can go into this little corner that I have here, like I would go into a really special craft store, and it's this feeling like you are allowed to choose from this craft store what you want and take it with you and play with it and try new things. And that's also the reason why I have everything in such baskets. Don't know if you can see that here such clearly, but I can take this out, pick some things and go to my desk. And then I need an organized, chaotic scene on my desk. If it's too chaotic, I'm going crazy, then I have to tidy it up in between. But yeah, I need these things laying around me to get some inspiration as well. If I can't see the things that I want to play with, it's really hard.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, I have a few more questions actually here. This one I love. And the question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And will junk journaling still be around? And if not, what will you do? Such an amazing question. It is so interesting. Jo, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I've never really come up with an image of what it will be in 5 years, but I do recognise that we're all evolving all the time. And if you look back at your own work and the projects you've done, and I put this question out to anyone who's watching this, think about what you were doing 12 months ago and how it differs from what you're doing now. I think from what we learn and our styles and our preferences, they all move on. If we think about 5 years from now, there's one thread that seems to be building on my channel and in my projects that I'm just thinking about more and more. And I am more conscious about not using plastic. So I am interested in understanding more about being kind to the world in the way in which we do things. And I think that's a natural ally of what we do anyway, because we upcycle. So to the question, will we be kind of doing this in 5 years' time? I'll always be doing it. And if YouTube evaporated tomorrow, I'd still be doing it and I'd probably pop up and surface somewhere else. So doing YouTube or doing junk journals will always be there somehow, so that form of paper. And I'll find a way, because for me, it's about the process, it's about the enjoyment. And then ideally, it's about the sharing. I don't worry too much about the exact detail, but I just know that I will carry on. So I'm kind of relaxed about it, but I am aware that technology changes very quickly. Mm-hmm. So we don't, it could be very, very different in 5 years' time. It really could. We don't know, do we? I'm just sure we'll always be doing it. We'll be out there somehow. I don't know. What about you two guys?
Luise, what about you?
Yeah, I think I don't have a really clear picture of what will be in 5 years, because as Joey just said, it's impossible to see that. Probably this whole YouTube thing will change up totally, and we have to make videos that are 30 seconds, like on TikTok or whatever. If you see how how fast this whole things are changing, I think how we are in the public can be totally different. But I think it's really important that we stay at our own passion and at our own things that we want to reach. I mean, we can't say, okay, if YouTube says we have to make videos that are not longer than 30 seconds, we have to stay with our goals as well. And we have to find a way to bring that to the people as well. And I think I can't imagine living without junk journaling. And no matter what YouTube will do, or if, Barbara, we talked about if YouTube would delete our videos. So what will happen? I mean, that can happen if your account would be hacked and tomorrow everything has gone. Then you have to start from new. Yeah, but for me, it's not that problem, because I'm with myself and I know what I want, and I know what I want to tell the people in the world. And that's not a thing that technology can tell me, or this. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's hard for me to explain.
Yeah.
Do you have a life of your own, and the technology is an enabler? Yeah. But nothing can take away from the passion that you have and what you think and how you do things, and also how you share that with everyone who participates and maybe watches 30 seconds or half an hour of a video. None of that will ever go. So you can always bring that out.
I, of course, agree with both of you. And just looking at what has happened in the last 3 years, the development that has happened both technically and also in my way of crafting is absolutely amazing. So no way to know what's going to happen in 5 years. That seems like such a long span of time. But at the same time, I think it's super exciting that we don't know. And I wouldn't even want to know because I love the surprise of it. But of course, we need to stay on top of it. We need to evolve. And hopefully we won't be where we are today, both, with how we do it or whatever, hopefully we'll all develop. When I look back at my first videos, again, even the ones that are still on my channel, I cringe. And that's such a good thing because that means I have developed, right?
Yeah.
And as for, do I think junk journals will still be around? I think they will, because they are so versatile. There is so much that goes into a junk journal. It's not like, nothing against card makers, if you're a card maker watching this, but card making is just one of thousands of aspects of a junk journal. We make cards, we put them in there, but it's just one option of so many. So I think that is an aspect that will keep it around for a long time, just because it stays interesting with all the options that you have.
Yeah, I think the one theme that we're all experiencing, if we're kind of projecting forwards 5 years, and I actually quite enjoy the challenge of it, is having more engagement. So what I mean by that is things like this, ways of actually talking to people more directly and feeling like you sat at the desk together. So I think technology is an enabler of that. Who knows how that will be done? We can't necessarily say in 5 years, but what a channel means and what we do, for me, I would like it to stay personal. Yeah. So it's great to grow and have more subscribers, but I don't want to lose that sense of personal engagement. I don't want it to be just let's put some videos out. For me, we have to maintain that sort of reality and that contact throughout that journey.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. I think that is the most interesting part of having a YouTube channel or being out there on social media, is the connecting with other people. Otherwise, what are you doing it for? Yes, of course, we're trying to earn money as well. But the really special thing is the connection with you, the viewer. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't be what it is. I'm sure, Luise, you feel the same way, I know.
Yeah, of course. It's some kind of overwhelming sometimes, because you upload a video and then you get so many comments that you think, okay, how can I be able to answer all those questions? And sometimes it's really hard to show that you highly appreciate what the viewers do. And I think these kind of normal comments like, oh, I like what you did, this turned out amazing, I would like to answer those comments as well, to show my appreciation of this. And sometimes it's really, really hard to do that and to write something that's on this personal level, and not only writing, thank you very much. That's really hard. But when we write, thank you very much, I think we all three mean it like it is. Yeah. And sometimes it may be, for the viewer, it may look like they are writing always the same. Perhaps they copy and paste their answers. But I think for all of us, it's not that. We are sitting there and writing every comment by ourselves, and not this. You have some people who are doing that for you from somewhere else on the end of the world. And I think that's really important, that the people know that I sit
on my sofa with my mobile phone and I'm answering the questions, everyone. Yeah. There's no autofill, there's no machine algorithms that do it. Everything is a personal answer. Yeah. And I know you are the same.
I also have the issue that I wish I could answer all of your comments with a genuine reply from myself, but there's just too many, with 3 videos a week and hundreds of comments on each video, which I so appreciate. I hope you know how much I appreciate each and one of your comments, but it's just time-wise, it is just not possible to answer to each one individually. So that's why I at least heart them. But if you write something special or something that needs more attention, I will definitely put in the time. But yeah, all our days only have so and so many hours. So yeah, it's just not possible, unfortunately. The more you grow, the more that becomes a challenge, but it stays important in my heart. I really wish I could reply a very special reply to each and one of you, because I cherish each and one of your comments, but I think we all do. And yeah, that kind of goes without saying, I think. I'm afraid we're running out of time. We do have some more questions, but that will have to wait for another episode. I'm afraid we are limited with our session here, technically, unfortunately. So I hope that you got some new inspiration maybe, or some new information that connected you to us in some way. Are there any other things you would like to say, Luise or Joey? Any final concluding words?
No, I'm just really enjoying chatting, and I look forward to the next one.
Luise.
Yeah, I can say what I said the last time. It's one of the best ideas you've ever had. And I really wish that there will be much more episodes of this fun thing. So I really enjoy this. And yeah, hopefully the viewers will enjoy it as well.
Thank you so much. I hope so. Thank you so much to both of you. Thank you so much for everybody watching this. Subscribe to our channels if you haven't already. All three of us have so much inspiration for you. They are just loaded with things for you to try out. Luise also has a German Facebook group, so I will link that in the description box in case you want to check that out. And we hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.